all their advantage away in
10
that
seconds
last
remaining.
push. I think if Secret copies that, does the same thing
Radiant
for the
team
first
ban.
45 minutes, but in the 46 they don't dive the fountain, that's the recipe for success versus
Dire
Nigma.
team ban.
We also, when we talk about Weeha and the mid lane, we have to also talk about Weeha as the newest player on the side of Nigma.
Radiant team ban.
Formerly Matumaman. Matumaman now picked up by Secret. There's a little bit of rivalry there that I feel like Matu at least already got some recognition from winning, where he said, I was not the problem. It's good to get confirmation from that, you know. And he said it in like maybe somewhat of a jokey way.
10 seconds remaining.
But I can only imagine that that is just a relief as well. Yeah,
5 seconds remaining.
Like a I've still got it kind of moment.
Yes.
Like I can still be a carry player on the best team in the world and hold my own. It's not Nisha carrying Matu. It's everyone winning Dota.
I think it's many different things that are difficult to really pinpoint within a team. What's making them lose it? It shouldn't be only blamed on Matumba. I don't even think they blame Matu that much. Even with that kick, it's just like you're trying to find a solution to your bad streak. You're trying to find fix, right?
Something needed to change.
Something needed to change, and Matu, he was the one that they decided to change. I don't think they all obviously knew just how much value that brings to the team.
They talked about it as well at length, right? Where Kuro said, like, we didn't necessarily thought that Matu was the problem, but we needed a change.
Yeah.
And obviously it worked
10 seconds
fantastic
remaining.
for this squad. They got second place at TI.
Yeah.
So it
was the right choice.
5
Exactly.
seconds remaining.
Matu was not the problem, but at the same time, Team Liquid at the time had problems, and Matu was a good option for them in a real sense, where it helped them improve. Helped them improve.
It gives you fresh energy. It's not even like Vihai is better than him. It's not like Vihai brought too much to the team. He did in his own way, but it feels better when you have some new change. You feel more optimistic. You're more confident, and confidence plays a huge part on high-level Dota. Like, if you believe in yourself, if you believe in what you're doing, you find a way.
And we've seen GH specifically being very confident on that Elder Titan. That is now first phase ban material for Team Secret. We are in the draft, the first game of Grand Finals, and I wanted to still, before, maybe during the draft, I wanted to ask you guys about the chance of cheese picks, because we have seen these two teams, the first two games they played on Thursday. One was the last pick on the side of Secret, where they picked Meepo, the other one was a Brood. Are we gonna see that again? Because it didn't work out for the Brood pick. It did in the end for the Meepo pick then, but there is so much cheese potential for these two teams.
Yep.
Are we gonna see it?
Pick.
I mean, when you see the Elder Titan ban, right, guys, what do you think about it? Instantly Meepo comes to your mind.
Yeah, Meepo I think you've even said, Elise, you feel like the hero is almost maybe OP right now. Yeah. Especially in pubs where you're playing this uncoordinated Dota. If you get 9th or 10th pick Meepo with no counters, it just feels like the game's over right there. Competitive Dota, a bit more structured. Teams are playing differently. It's not like this hero you can just pick and win the game with. But the right Meepo game be devastating.
Brood Mother maybe not as much.
Yeah.
They didn't really manage to win with that. I
Radiant
don't necessarily think it was only the Brood Mother, but here we go. Instantly a difference. We see a Wisp picked up.
The Iron Tiny likely coming back.
That gets a cheer from the crowd. I would not be surprised to see the Tiny picked up, also because it obviously is a great combination with the IO.
They go with the Timber. I like this, because if you pick the Tiny right now and you give that timbersaw away...
Tiny's banned. What are we talking about?
Oh. Okay. They didn't ban the, of course. So they didn't ban the Eye, they banned the Tiny.
Yeah.
So
sorry.
We see the AR. Just
Yeah. But I wrote it down, and I was just writing down Timber, and I see Tiny. Oh yeah.
Different time.
10 seconds remaining.
Ancient Apparition is probably a very valuable pick here for Secret.
5 seconds
but
remaining.
The only problem is you already have the Snapfire.
Dire team ban.
You don't want either of those two to be your position 4. You want Snapfire most likely to be Puppy, position 5, right? And they need to find a different way to deal with the Wisp.
They get some fight and lockdown.
That's the N doesn't. It looks like a Wigma. Doesn't the N go the other way around?
It does. Yeah, that's
10
the
seconds
Russian
remaining.
E, right? All right. Nigma.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, they're laughing at it.
Yeah.
Radiant
Thought
team
that
ban.
counts, you know? All right, so we are in the second ban phase. We have that Faceless Void, and we saw Nigma win with that in the previous series. And the criticism of Faceless Void is, of course,
Dire
super
team
long
ban.
cooldown. Still, we see it succeed so many times, though. But the combination of Snapfire Void, too strong to pass up.
It's like guaranteed team fight victory when you have the Chronos. Problem is what happens when you don't have Chronosphere. I think the other reason people really like the Void is he is a very strong laner with the Bash and the Time Walk to help just stay in lane. So he has a lot of
10
good
seconds
lanes. He
remaining.
can pressure for kills a lot of the offlaners. So he does do a lot of
5
things well,
seconds
even though it
remaining.
has that long cooldown.
Have the time dilation and you have a ultimate to work around. Now you can think about what you can give Nisha, and Void will most likely be played by Matu, right? In the safe lane versus that timbersaw, I don't think Void will necessarily have the easiest time, especially with the Wisp. Even though if you work around that time dilation and Snapfire, you do have a lot of firepower.
Yeah, and we'll have to see where the Wisp goes, because also Nigma generally played it in the safe lane.
And that's true. That's very true, yes.
They'll have Kuro play his
team
spy
ban.
position, supporting the offlane, so they kind of switch things up a bit. Medusa getting banned, you kind of have to consider what's the scary carries
Radiant
that Io's
team
going to look to buff up and create a ton of stacks in the jungle for.
I thought like it was Secret that started banning out Lifestealer against Nigma in the first phase. Do you guys feel like that's still an option? Is that a combination to go with the IO that is decent?
It's really not the best one. When you're thinking about Wisp, you're thinking about different sorts of heroes that really get buffed
10
up by
seconds
overcharge
remaining.
as well. And if you're a Lifestealer, you have that built in. You still
5
have your
seconds
rage.
remaining.
You don't necessarily need the Wisp to heal you up like that. But it's possible. They really, truly love that Lifestealer, and it is one of the options for them. Stage.
Yeah, they banned out the Leshrac, who's typically good against Slark. So maybe they are looking for something like that.
If you're Nigma, you have a
Dire
Wisp and you
team
have a timbersaw. What are you lacking? You're lacking stuns.
Chen.
All right.
You're lacking any sort of push. With Chen, you get that. What you also
Still
get
stuns.
with Chen, yeah, still lacking stuns unless you get some centaurs. But what you do get with Chen, more important, is extra type of sustain utility hero. Now you have Wisp healing you. If he goes for Mac, great. If he doesn't, you're gonna have it on Chen. Anyway,
10 seconds
early on,
remaining.
you have these two heroes that will bring so much heal in that
5
Chronosphere
seconds
that
remaining.
even Chrono plus Mortimer's Kiss won't be enough to take people.
And we saw that in some of their other past games with all the heals. They had I think it was the Io Tiny game, but they had heroes like Oracle sitting behind as well, giving them more heals,
Yeah.
more saves. That was the Oracle who just kept spamming the heal on the Io. I think it's a similar idea with the Chen, where more heals, more saves, and Miracle is going to be on that huge late game carry that most importantly hits buildings. He loves to go for whether it's the Tiny with the Desolator build, the Lifesteal. I think as much as Lifesteal IO isn't like the best partnership, there's a very good chance they pick it because it's one of the best heroes for just sieging high ground when you timing.
Do you then also want to see more save also from the cores, like OD comes to mind? Because the Oracle is already out, but would you like to see an OD as well, or
Radiant
is that too
team
much?
pick.
I think it's okay. You can't play like expect OD to be greedy and get a lot of farm and carry the game, but it works. It can fit their draft. And against the Void, yeah, you never feel bad about picking OD.
This Rubick pick overall, they did really well yesterday with it when they played it. Yesterday or the day before, Yapzor did a really good job with the Rubick anyway. He was stealing so
10
many good
seconds
spells.
remaining.
That extra duration of his stuns that he steals were great. But
5
this kind of
seconds
a game, I'm
remaining.
looking at this Rubick, I don't see way too many great spells. Versus Timbersaw, if you steal the pure damage, whirling it's great. Timber Chain is all right, but versus Wisp, there's not necessarily anything that you want to steal from him. Same pretty much goes for Chen. So it doesn't look like a great Rubick game, but overall, Rubick, you're still gonna come into the lane. You're still gonna fade bolt heroes, make them damage for -50, and then the lane is very difficult.
The crowd is trying to form more letters. There's now two groups of people that have formed the Navi. name with their whatever
Dire
they're
team
called.
pick.
That's a Sven.
That's a
Is that a hero that does what you described Miracle should be doing?
Hits high ground. Hits.
Yeah.
I mean, I think his hero had to scale, go super late game, and hit build. And absolutely, whenever you've got strength up, he can just position himself on that. He's going to hit this like 2-3 item timing that you get incredibly fast. Heroes that farm stacks in the jungle.
10
His
seconds
heroes all
remaining.
do the same thing, whether it's Medusa, whether it's Sven, whether it's Tiny. It's
5 seconds
functionally
remaining.
the hero that fits the exact same role, that flash farms, gets 2 or 3 items, gets an Aegis, takes racks. They don't. It's basically this, I'm going to sit on your high ground. If you can't kill me, then I'm take your X.
On the bright side, there for Secret, that is, there is some nice things to steal from Sven. Can't really go wrong with anything that you steal, I think.
yeah. I guess you really want the Warcry or the stun, right? From
But
him.
yeah, that's, I mean,
But yeah,
You don't
that's
want
normally gonna get that.
Yeah.
normally what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Overall, I like this
Radiant
Sven for
team
multiple
ban.
reasons. One of them is the fact that he's very tanky even before that chrono hits, right? He doesn't have to use anything. He will be naturally tanky. With a couple of heals from Wisp and Chen, he should be able to survive the initial burst. I value the hero a bit more than most teams, right? Sven is not in the best place, but can be played in certain games. I think in a game
10
such as
seconds
this one, when
remaining.
it's buffed up by Wisp, brings an additional stun that they really needed.
5
It's
seconds
the perfect
remaining.
choice for Nigma. Secret, go with the Necro. It's one of those heroes that can deal with the Wisp, with the timbersaw as well. You just need to get them to 50%, then you can sight them.
you guys think that it's gonna be Zai playing Necro? It's not really a niche here.
Yeah, I
agree
think
with you.
they lack damage if they run like a Necro mid with a Void safe lane. I think you want something a bit more bursty in the middle.
It should be. It should. I think versus the Sven lane especially. The Necrophos do really well.
Dire team ban.
We're having an OD ban by Nigma themselves. We're looking for a mid-hero for Nisha. We're looking for the ultimate overall last pick for Weeha. I mentioned Cheese at the beginning of the draft. Is there still an option for Cheese, or is that dead?
Meepo into Sven's not great.
Druid into Sven also not great,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
probably not.
And for Nigma themselves? You don't really want to get a Meepo against the
10 seconds remaining.
either, do you?
You actually could.
Good.
It's
Good
also
versus Void.
It's
Yeah.
funny.
5
If
seconds
it was the
remaining.
old Aghanims on Sven, that would be even better. It isn't anymore, but overall, you know
Dire
what?
team pick.
Even for Team Secret, they ban it.
Oh, they ban
All right,
the
they
Meepo.
ban it. Even for Team Secret, Sven is one of the best counters versus Meepo if he has a good timing. If he has a
Radiant
bad
team
timing,
pick.
Meepo take over.
It will be the Morphling,
Yeah.
the Nisha Morph. We've seen it before. Kill him.
It's literally like this. You're playing versus a Sven. You need a lot of heroes that can kite him easily. And they do have some, but not a lot. And this carry is one of the best ones to do that, especially with the E-Blade Skadi build. Not only will he ghost one of his teammates, if
10
Sven
seconds
goes to them, he
remaining.
can slow the Sven down with Skadi. Then you have Necrophos with
5
Ghost
seconds
Shroud, you
remaining.
have Time Walk, you have Lift, you have Cookie, you have a lot of built-in mobility stuff.
He just doesn't seem afraid of any of those mid matchups.
Choose
Whether
your
it's
hero.
like Lina, the SF. This time it's the Puck. I like it because it gives you this long duration silence, gives you a bit more kill threat onto that Morphling. If you ever catch him when he's too low in health and he gets silenced, he doesn't get the opportunity to...
It adds the extra control so that Miracle can just go around punching everybody. I think that is the key here, right? We have talked about what Nigma's strengths are, mostly setting up high tempo after laning stage, after getting ahead. Do you feel like this is the draft that they can do that with? Are they fast?
I definitely think with the Puck last pick, they are fast. They also have the catch for that. Relocate Puck is a perfect finalization of this Nigma's draft, but I'm just wondering if we will perform really well on.
Okay.
That's the only thing.
10
Maybe it
seconds
will be
remaining.
offlane Puck as well. I sincerely doubt it. I think it will be mid versus...
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
I think it's a tough game for Nigma. Their Secret know exactly what's coming their way with this 4 protect 1 kind of style. I think drafted accordingly. They have a lot of answers for very farm Sven. So unless Nigma really snowball and get Miracle way ahead of everyone else, have that Alchemist style game where you're just 5k network carry, I don't think they're going to find an easy way.
All right, well, let's find out what's going to happen. Who takes the lead in this best of 5 grand finals? We're going to find out with OD Pixel on Lacoste.
Yeah, thank you, Shiva. Very excited for this one, ladies and gentlemen. It's the grand finals of the WePlay Tug of War Mad Moon. I'm ODPixel, joined by Lacoste. Secret versus Nigma. We've just seen the lineups, Lacoste. We're getting again here in the grand finals still some sort of new heroes as Sven crops up for Nigma. Is it going to be any good?
Sven, yeah, he as a hero received some of the buffs. His Warcry got changed, serious amount of damage in a short period of time. But there's a Necro on the other side. I love this hero. It doesn't pierce through BKB anymore. And the way Nigma has been playing is this 4 protect 1 strat, where they have one overfarmed carry fighting with no cooldowns. And so far, they have not been stopped.
Okay, yeah, we'll see if it works out. I mean, talking about the cooldowns, obviously with Secret's lineup having like this Void, the Necrophos, a lot of sort of longer cooldowns to play around with. But you don't think that's going to be too much of a problem? Do you sort of see Secret's lineup getting to the point where once again we're just going to see this Morphling take over a game?
It's a really good Morphling game. They don't have enough lockdown for him. The only thing they have is Sven's stun and Puck, of course, to deal with him, but he could easily pop off. And it's Nisha's Morphling, so yeah, we've already seen what he can do. Also the combo from him and Necro, like shotgun into Reaper's side, it's extremely effective.
Yeah, well, and we'll see what does happen as we'll be able to get into the game quite shortly. And in terms of being able to deal and play against the power that combo is going to have later on, do you imagine this is going to be a match where Kuro and the lads, they're going to try and shut it down a lot quicker? You're going to see this sort of group up and go. Nigma's going to aim for another one of those victories that they've had a lot of success with, where they close the game up within like this 25-minute mark.
That's how they've been playing throughout this tournament. Even the games when they lost against Team Secret, they really gave them trouble. One game they should have won. It could actually be a 2-1 for Nigma in that previous series, but they want to group up around 20-25 minute mark and just push, take the Roche and try to finish the game.
Oh, it should be just about to get into the action. You see some beautiful shots with the crowd here. Of course, you know, VP, they didn't make it to the finals, but the crowd, they do not care. Having these superstars on the stage, Kuro versus Puppey here in Kiev, it couldn't be any better.
God. Yeah, we have the greatest region in Dota world, Europe against Europe. I can't complain, and we can't be biased.
Absolutely not. You know, what's the internet going to say about this one? That is the question. Everyone by their keyboards ready to make some comments about this matchup, ready to see if Nigma can bring it, take it to the level of Secret, or if Secret's going to be able to make this look like a walk in the park, something that a lot of the analysts have felt would be the case from the very beginning of this event. But Nigma, they have shown some impressive plays. They've come in with a very sort of entertaining style of Dota 2. One of the brilliances of this grand finals being a best of 5 is we know that throughout these games, we maybe are going to see a bit of experimentation. And as I say already in this game 1, coming in with the Sven is something different, and it's something we're going to see here firsthand if it's able to work at the top level against a team like Team Secret.
AJ, big fan of this Necrophos Parrot set, I see.
Oh, it's very nice.
Zooming in.
And indeed, in terms of who's playing what, as expected, of course, Zai will be rolling on the Necrophos down on the bottom lane. And this off-lane position, and we'll see how many heroes they feel is needed to keep down here. Because one of the sort of ways that Nigma has been able to run away with games, it has been where Miracle's got that free farm in the safe lane, and he's been able to stay ahead for the whole match. We'll see how much sort of pressure Secret's able to put on him early on to make sure that this Sven doesn't just start spiraling out of control and farm in that sort of that initial 10 minutes after the laning stage that pushes Nigma to that point where they can close up games early.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Sven has a built-in cleave, so he will have more farm than any other hero on the map, especially if they decide to make some stacks. Zai already getting harassed on the bottom lane a lot.
Actually, yeah, straight in. As soon as he popped the death pulse, it's just a little bit of a heal, a little bit of damage. Nigma, they collapse onto him immediately. He'll get another heal out, but Zai, one more able to. He's got the Fairy Fire. He'll be fine. Now they'll turn towards Miracle. Miracle's actually taking a lot of damage for this attempt. He'll get back in, but Zai with the heal. The Fairy Fire. They'll get first blood. They will lose. Zai in return, but Kuro, he's down. Double kill for Yapso. I mean, let's be honest.
You do not want to give this guy a double kill at the start. Also, he got the solo XP for both of these kills, already level 2.5.
Yeah, Yapso's going to say, Zai, don't come back down here. You're going to go jungle. I'm taking this lane myself. Top lane, Puppey will fall. Nigma's able to run down the Snapfire. But a very exciting start already. Both side lanes kicking off. And Jess, you mentioned it. You've got to keep your eye on Yapzor. Yapzor Rubick, he's had so many games where you have this sort of start. You give him a double kill. By the 10-minute mark, he's going to be walking around with 10 kills in the back.
Yeah, I want to see if he's going to go for Spirit Vessel build this game. It's extremely effective against all of these heroes. Chen, Io, plus Timbersaw. Zai, once again, getting harassed a lot.
Yeah, it's all part of Yapzor's plan. He's like, come on, Zai, can you let's just give up your life. Give me the solo lane. As you know, Yapzor is... he knows what size level 1 Zai definitely still rather vulnerable to these two heroes, so just have to watch out a little bit down here.
Region for Nisha, that's a big one.
Very, very nice. Be able to get the free reset in the lane. How's the CS going so far? Very nice for Nisha, 10 for 3 against the 6 for 1, so already a decent beginning for the Morphling. And in terms of this 1v1 lane, how would you consider it to be expected to go? The Morph obviously has a greater time of hitting the creeps, but you do have to be careful. Once the levels are there in the puck, he can catch you off with the silence and burst you down.
Yeah, you just don't want to shift everything into Agi in this kind of a matchup. There's a high burst damage from puck, no points in phase shift yet, but the thing is, he hits almost 2 times while you hit once, and that region actually helped him a lot. He'll also be forced to bring more blast and tangos in that lane. GH dropping low.
Oh, they do have the Snapfire quickly, but GH is able to duke it out. Still, Matu gets the back, but the regen's too much. He knows he cannot continue to attempt to go for GH. Down will be cancelled by Puppey as he scatter blast across the 2 of them.
They don't have the answer for this Timbersaw. The only hero who's good against him, at least after the laning stage. I mean, they have after the laning stage, don't get me wrong. You have Morphling who can turn into him. You have Rubick to steal his pure damage spells. But in the laning stage, once he gets level 3, level 5, you don't have anything against him.
Still, keeping eyes on that mid lane. It's Nisha is just, he is getting ahead by quite some CS. 17 for 9 against the 10 for 1. I mean, it really is just down to how comfortable you are on a Morphling, and I don't think there's anyone in the world that's more comfortable than Nisha on his Morph. He knows the exact numbers. He's never going to sit in a position where WeHard can burst him down, and with that in mind,
the cookie?
He can play with the regen and stay alive. See if Puppey can get in range. It will turn to trade towards mind control now, Matumba Man. Mind control, very, very tanky. Hard for them to really do much harassment on at all, as he's able to stay aggressive. CS, very nice for him. 20 for 4, 11 for 1 and Matu. Definitely struggling against the pressure of this Timbersaw that's consistently in his face, thanks to the backup of GH Desire.
And you can't even try lane top. He's unkillable at the moment. If you want to get a kill, you should definitely try to go for Io, because mind control is not dying here.
Puppey is able to hide in the trees, start to heal back up as mind control does continue to hunt, see if he can cancel the sale, but Puppey gets the full use out of it. He's back up to full HP. Still a decent amount of mana to play with mind control, so he'll take away immediately half of Puppey's health after the full heal. Just continue to cause a lot of problems for them on this top lane. It's still, Secret, I don't think they'll be too fussed about the side lanes, considering they know that in the mid lane, Nisha, free farm, free experience. This Morphling is having a perfect time. Bottom lane, Nigma, able to dive in. Underneath the tower, Zai gets caught out. The burst in the middle lane, and jump from WeHard, but there's the punish. The gank from Yapzor. He comes in towards the mid. One of the reasons why Zai did go down bottom, but totally worth it for Secret. They're making this lane even more of a nightmare for WeHard.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Just wondering who's gonna rotate mid. Like, the only way you kill Morph, if you silence him before, he can get his Morph off and the Timbersaw when he's level 6. Otherwise, I do not see him dying.
Well, yeah, sort of at all, right? Sort of down the line, it's not going to get easier to kill this Morph as the game goes on.
It's going to be really tough because they're limited on the catch and on the control. We saw Nisha playing against no one Shadow. I think he did a mistake. Like, he morphed everything into Agi, got 2 raised and just died. So he can make a mistake, don't get me wrong.
So far, so good for him, though. There's free farm for him. Of course, free farm still down on the bottom lane for Miracle. And those inclusions in the kills. He's going to try and go on Zai. With the extra back from GH, he can stand tall against the heals, gets the kill, and now turning towards maybe Puppey and Yapzor. Miracle will back off as GH starts to heal him back up. But Zai, I mean, again, this seems to all sort of be going to plan for Secret. It's sort of part of their recipe of winning, right? Zai dies quite a few times at the start and then wins the game, I feel like if you're a team playing against Secret and you keep killing Zai, you kind of know yourselves. You're like, well, we're killing Zai, but what does that
Dyer's
matter?
bottom
Every
tower
single
is
team
under
have
attack.
been there, killing Zai multiple times, then suddenly in the mid game, Zai just does some amazing stuff, whether with a blink or a force staff. His positioning in team fights is extremely good.
Dyer's structures are
Rubick getting
fortified.
pressured on the mid lane, has Dream Coil to work with.
I will have to take the walk back to base. No further regen on him, so more time where we are is just unable to keep a check on Nisha. Morph mid. Nisha gets all the space in the world right now. Bottom lane, again, moving in aggressively onto Zai, using the God Strength. It's a lot of damage, but Zai will be able to keep his distance. Miracle won't be able to quite finish him off this time. Kuro and GH sticking around, allowing them to do a good job of taking this tower down very early. 7 minutes into the tier 1's nearly falling. They step forward once again to Zai. Zai's got the Ghost
Dyer's
Ball.
bottom
Miracle
tower has fallen.
very hardly with his health and the heals, and he will manage to get the kill. Another kill onto Zai, down bottom. They'll see if they can get more as they run over towards Yapzor. Miracle slow, but he knows with the sustain from GH that he can play as aggressive as he is. Yapzor and Puppy will be forced back. They won't die. Or maybe, well, not yet. Miracle again. Charging in. Yapzor will stand strong underneath the tier 2. They won't be able to catch him out.
Another confident
Dyer's top
that by
tower
Zai,
is
as
under
expected. They
attack.
got the tier 1 tower. There's a lot of damage once he pops that God Strength, extra damage from Warcry and Alpha Wolf on top of that.
Oh, look at this Nisha. Dodging the stun from Sven, just turning
Dyer's
up
middle
the
tower
grid and
is
trying to get a
under
fight
attack.
going. He sets up Kuro to be killed off by Yapzor's Fade Bolt. Miracle will charge towards the Rubick, and Yapzor, without any regen left, will fall in return as they'll get the trade. But Nisha, he's still around here. He still knows how strong he is with this Morph, but he continue to fight these two heroes. GH, he'll get himself away with a further tether. He will live, but already you're seeing how comfortable Nisha is. He knows exactly where to use his power, and at such an early time, 8 minutes, and he's trying to leave this mid to get things going elsewhere.
Yeah.
Overall though, 2k lead for Nigma. One of the lanes we haven't talked about too much. This top lane does continue to just be free farmed, soaked up by Mind Control's Timbersaw, and Matuma Man's Void is having a slow start.
Puppy in a little bit of trouble. Where's the orb? Yeah, I don't think that's gonna hit. But this one will.
There we go.
4 points. I love that. Extremely effective against the Morphling, against the Necrolite and Faceless Void as well. You do not expect this kind of a long silence this early on.
Nisha.
Silence action.
Yeah, trying to catch her. We are, but we are quick with the face. He'll jump away, but Nisha reads the movement. He's on top of him. There's no spell
What a
left, but
play.
we are. Nisha, I mean, you know, it's sort of, you pick a puck against this guy. Sure, you're going to be able to pull off some
Dyer's
plays
top
against him,
tower
but
is under
Nisha is
attack.
going to be ready to turn into the puck and pull off plays against you himself.
This is why I love this combo. Morphling plus Rubick. You have one good spell. Well, we're gonna steal 2 of those.
That's true. Yeah, there's a lot of spell stealing that Secret can use to their advantage this game. Top, more aggression from Mind Control. He's sort of slowly and silently been sitting here on the top lane, getting stronger and stronger as the Timber. Secret will start to pull more resources into this area.
Relo.
They're going to relocate in to dive for the easy kills. Mind Control will deal with Puppy. Puppy bounces away as he swallows on the cookie, but Mind Control's on top of him, slaps him down, gets the kill. Up in the tree line, Yapzor's been surrounded.
Dyer's top tower is
We will
under
find
attack.
themselves a second one. Nigma
Radiant's bottom
coming to
tower
this
is
area
under
of the map
attack.
where they know that they're at the strongest at this moment in time. Miracle will be brought back to the mid lane. Just a bit of a punch onto Nisha, knows that this isn't a kill they can get. So Nigma, they realize what they can
Dyer's top
do.
tower
They know
has
that
fallen.
Morphling cannot really be threatened right now. They're just trying to do their best to feed off of everyone else on Secret
Radiant's
side.
bottom tower is
The
under
thing is,
attack.
this Nigma's lineup could easily just explode. Sven needs 1 item, Mask of Madness, which will increase his farming abilities on top of 3 points in cleave already, and he's going for that Crystallis. This is the most efficient,
Radiant's
cost-efficient
bottom
item in
tower
the
is
game
under
right now.
attack.
Plus 45 damage for 2130 gold. And you know, that's before you account into the crit that you get as well. And what better hero to use it on, and you know, what better sort of timing to play with. You know how Nigma likes to move. They're getting aggressive, diving in on the mid. There's going to be a TP in, top lane as well. Mind Control causing havoc for Zai. This is diving under the tower. Zai is not going to have any sort of backup coming in because the rest of Secret, they've gone towards mid. Zai's going to try his best to run this one away. Mind Control, he's got enough mana to finish the kill. Doesn't look like it.
Foil
Back
snap.
to mid. Over they go.
Dyer's middle tower is under attack.
They've lost the void. Nigma, they're turning up the heat as 2 die on Secret. Nigma, they're starting to get that momentum going. They've been winning many of the games this round. And finally, up top, Mind Control will cut down Zai to get away. They are speeding things up.
Dyer's
Only
structures are
Nisha's Morph
fortified.
that holds some sort of strength
Dyer's
right
middle
now in
tower
Secret's
is
lineup.
under attack.
Zai and Matu,
Dyer's
they are
middle
crumbling.
tower
They're
has
falling
fallen.
further and further behind. And Nigma, they're making it for Secret.
All these pieces are coming together very quickly for Nigma. You're gonna have a mech on Chen. Io's getting the items. Sven, once he gets that Crystallis, all it takes is one bad fight near the Roche pit. They're gonna get that Aegis, put it on the Sven. Even though he's not the greatest hero to have Aegis on, he's still the tower sieger for the team.
And with sort of the farm he has, even if he pops the God Strength and dies with the backup and buffering of the Io, he still hurts without the God Strength. You know, don't get me wrong, this hero is still strong considering how farmed he is this early on. This tier 2 taken Secret showing no interest in defending it. As 12 minutes to Nigma really starting to take control of Secret's half of the map.
Yeah, so far, Team Secret took 0 towers. They need to put some pressure on the bottom, but Nigma is not stopping.
I'll see if they want to try and push up the high ground. It's only 12 minutes in, but Nigma, they are going straight up. Secret, they've got to respond to this. TP back for Yamso. After the shot to the Reaper side there, but I haven't got he's back up to full. Chrono, though, the Mortimer's kisses, the Katrina flying through. They have to damage this. You've got a Stars comes out. The two of them. They've lost 2 on Nigma. Mind control current. Get out. The 2 supports will escape. As that coil holds them down at least enough to make sure that 3 of Nigma will survive. The Secret, they come in, they formulate a defense, and it's a very successful one, knocking out 2 of Nigma's cores.
Slow down there a bit. I mean, it's a minute 12. You don't need to hit the tier 3 towers. I think Sven still needs that item and also getting a fight, getting the Roche for that Sven so he can do this kind of a Superman stuff is going to be necessary.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah, you looked at the gold there. I think he must have only been like 100 gold away from the Crystallis, so he's effectively pushing in with 2k gold of his net worth in the bank. And early on at 13 minutes, that's a considerable amount of farm that you're trying to push without.
They did such a good job just baiting that Reaper side. They know where the threat comes from, and they instantly go into Roche pit. They know there's no Chrono, there's no Reaper side, so they can take a fight. This is how they've been abusing lineups that have high cooldowns.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So last time that push was without the Crystals. Now it comes with the crit and the Aegis. And you know that Nigma, they are not going to be taking their foot off the pedal. As soon as this is picked up, they're charging down mid, looking for tier 2s, and very much likely to be looking
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That incredibly long 2-minute and 40-second cooldown. Still 1 minute after that previous defense up top until it is back.
Radiant's
Faceless Void does not have a single item. I mean, it's a minute 14, but it feels like we're already 20-25 minutes in the game considering how fast the Nigma is playing.
An optimization from Miracle after the Crystallis, straight for that BKB. Knows that there is little to anything they can do through that. Sure, there's still going to be a Chronosphere maybe to hold him down, waste some of the duration of it. But in regards to killing him through the BKB, it's pretty much impossible for Secret's lineup right now. If Nigma can keep themselves grouped together. Secret's best bet to try and make sure that Nigma don't get the waves and opportunity to push up to high ground once more. Continue to buy time for Nisha, whose farm still holds very closely to that of Miracle's Sven. Itemization, he is going to queue up and go for that E-Blade rush. He knows they have to have some sort of power to just instantly wipe heroes of Nigma, get to the back lines, get rid of these supports that are providing so much sustain to Nigma's cause.
Secret is very vulnerable at the point. 3k gold lead for Nigma, and there's like 3 unspent gold.
He's going to find the setup. Here's the combo. They've got to get rid of the Io, but he's still there. The telekinesis is there from Yapsor. They separate the Io and knock him out of the fight. Miracle is going to try and continue to push on forward. He's surrounded by the 4 of them, and that's the Aegis gone. This was Nigma's move with the Aegis, and they've already lost it. They need that. They need it now, Miracle. He's going to get it. We are. Just supposed to silence. It catches out Nisha off guard. He cannot start to morph. The morph is dead, and now they're looking towards the Timberman. He's into the trees and trying to hide, but Miracle and Weeheart stay on top of him. This done. Have they got further control? Another time walks there. Weeheart won't be able to close the gap with the silence, as Matu will be able to sneak away in the trees.
Now it's time to go. They still have Mac. Chronosphere is on cooldown for the next 2 minutes. They don't need that God Strength to actually take that fight. Crystallis will do the damage. A lot of attack speed from Mask of Madness and Overcharge. Time to go for that tier 3.
Yeah, they may have lost the Aegis, but for the ultimates used, that's totally worth it for Nigma. They know that they have no reason to back off. Up they go. Tier 3 starting to take a beating. Secret, they'll have Nisha back in a few seconds with his hold. See how much they can slow it down. Bit of an attempt at an escape from Miracle, but they just go for him immediately. He will live. He puts it on the heels. Keeps Miracle fine and above the threshold. He'll live. Dream Code down onto the two of them. Stops Secret from poking for more. Looks like Nigma wants to go for a bit of a reset. They'll respect that Nisha's back in the game. They'll buy themselves some time to head elsewhere. There's still some free gold for them to clean up on the map. Tier 2s do still stand in that mid lane and bottom lane.
Yeah, they do not want to take another fight before Sven gets a BKB. They should respect more this Morph who's about to finish his E-Blade on combo. From Reaper's side, and that shotgun also Fizzles with Chrono will be up. Martin doing a good job on the bottom lane, trying to get some goal for his team. And Puck denies the tower, sadly for them.
In the jungle, Secret coming out. A Miracle, mind control, and CH, they are ready to turn and fight Yaptor. He'll be the quick focus first. Rubick is gone. Zai and Puppy have to go immediately back towards the high ground. They cannot try and fight Nigma outside the base, particularly when they are hero down. They get out of there, they keep that distance. Nigma's got the mid lane pushing in. They'll take another tier 2 tower. All of these towers pushing Miracle closer and closer towards the BKB. They need Nisha to hit those items. We'll find a good one. There's managed to pick up the People's Gift on Morph. So adding additional stats to the potential combo that's about to be unveiled. A few hundred gold and the E-Blade will be done. So now at least Secret, they can look to just delete one of the supports. Get rid of this Io, get rid of this Chen, so that there is that opportunity for the Reaper side players to come in. Because so far, every single time Zai's gone for a target, there's been more than enough heals from Nigma to keep their core safe.
Yeah, if he uses that Reaper side, there's going to be mech plus Chen ulti on top of Magical, and they need to cut into backline, find this IO, find the Chen, providing too much heal.
Trying for mind control, but Weehart's going to be in with the counterplay. Gets the three-man silence down. The Coral Puppy's in trouble. He's trying his best to duke it out. But Matumba Man comes in with a chrono.
And then IO.
He's gone for 30. Puppy buys back. He knows with the numbers advantage, they've got to try and push this fight side. He's in trouble. The cookie stage comes into play. Puppy will get side back up to the high ground. Spyback keeping that Necrophos alive. Puppy from the high ground.
There's the E-Blade.
Shoot out the Mortimer. Nisha in with the E-Blade reveal. Goes towards Morph, but they're cutting down. The spin is gone. And now they go for mind control. They've lost two. They're going to lose a third. The bash is in play. Mind control will fall. As Nigma lose a bit of a painful fight here. Secret's power starting to show. Nisha, he played it smart. He played for this timing, focused on getting the E-Blade done, and now Secret, they've got the resources to win these fights.
That's exactly what they needed, that shotgun. Sven still does not have a BKB, and they overextended there a little bit, not respecting the damage coming out from Team Secret. Also, Secret, they understand where the threat comes from, killing the IO first. I'm not sure if IO had the buyback there, but if he had, I'm pretty sure that he would buy back.
Yeah, we dead for 30, and I mean, it must have just been the money. Was short and unable to get back in.
Oh, there was some also miscommunication, if I remember correctly. Chen was going for Mac, and Io ended up going for one. Pretty sure I saw Buckler and Headdress, yeah.
All right, yeah, a little bit of sort of money off the mark there. I mean, you can imagine Enigma, there's definitely, evidently some sort of panic. They know that they cannot allow this game to slow down. If it slows down another sort of team fight or two, suddenly this Morph's going to be in territory where Nisha can rule the entire fight. They've got to keep going, Nigma. They cannot stop.
Stay near.
Here we go. Looking towards Nisha, has already shifted heavily into the strength. Is there any further control to kill this man? He's silenced. Miracle's coming in around the tree line. Nisha, how's he going to play his way out of this? Turns into the puck. He's got the orb to create a good amount of distance. Jumps over with the silence. Goes for the TP. There's no way to cancel it. Nisha outplays and escapes.
Very nicely done. Also, they should be worried about those stolen spells. They have Rubick, they have Necrolite, so any kind of a silence, any pure damage coming from the timbersaw once the BKB's down on Sven on top of shotgun.
Relocate comes into play. Zai was trying to silently push down this top lane. I don't know if there's any way he could escape this one. They brought the full 5-man in, and Zai may have got the wave pushed out. You know, he's managed to take a good amount of attention away from the base, but he'll lose his life for it. Still, this is sort of Zai things. You know, this is absolutely no reason to sort of get too worried if you're a Zai fan out there. This is all part of his play.
He's buying time for his team. He understands that Faceless Void still needs more items to be efficient. Massive Madness plus full Maelstrom finished on him. Also, there's a lot of heal on the Team Secret side. You have Necro, he already finished the mech. Also, Cookie, anything stolen from the Rubick as well, if you can get the Hand of God.
Yeah, a lot of counter plays potential, and then Yapzor, he's always going to be in a position to find those steals, no doubt about it. Nigma being a little more tentative about how they approach this high ground once more. That whole early push up top, ending in a bit of a disaster, and then that fight around mid, it really has slowed things down for Nigma. Suddenly this lead that they were starting to grow and get closer towards potentially, taking some of the base away, it's come back right back down.
Next Roche could be up pretty soon. That's what Nigma is waiting. If they can play around Chrono, not lose anyone, or just have buyback on the target that they go for. But right now, GH should just save for the buyback because he's going to be the primary target.
Yeah, they've got to make sure that he's ready with that second life. One of the sort of the age-old counters to these spells, such as Reaper's Scythe and Chronosphere. Well,
not the old Reaper's Scythe, but you could not buy back. Ice Frog, I'm looking at you.
Oh yeah, back in the day. Disabling buyback. It may come back one day.
How is that even in game? Like, how is that allowed?
I mean, it's. Yeah, you got to be honest though. It's very satisfying. You played a pub and you were playing Necro. It was the ultimate tilting tool. Taking someone out for a good 2.5 minutes and no counterplay.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But of course, with the state of the game at the moment, there is that answer, and GH will be making sure that he's got the gold and he's ready to come in with those buyback relocate plays to keep fights going the way of Nigma. If he does take sort of the whole brunt of the initiation from Secret.
Nigma solo ganking mind control in mid lane, not very effective.
Bit of a tickle between the two of them. I mean, Zai knows as long as he can sort of hold this wave at the same area that mind control's bringing it to, it makes it harder and harder for Nigma to start going towards those tier 3s again. Miracle is watching from the sideline. Starts getting bottom lane. Quick pick from Nisha and Yapzor as WeHi's grabbed and nuked down. Main Snapfire cookie to set up as they'll look towards the timbersaw. He is big, he is tanky. Matuma Man's in the neighborhood. They can really try and go for this. They'll start winning some
Another transformation.
We are in fact they want to fight this. This isn't Chrono and Reaper's Scythe, so they do have ways
and already used
by Secret. They're committing with the God Strain. Miracle Zai. He's turning towards Zai. Will pop the greens. Ghost form as well. He's living. And my God. Gonna break them in and split up. Matuma Man's coming with the Chrono. Now the BKB comes out. They'll commit with Sven on the side. Finally, they'll kill him. But they've used a lot. They've used buyback, ultimate BKBs just to kill Zai. They'll now find in the river Nisha. Is that going to get the Morph? He didn't start shifting.
He just
to retract your last move. He just snapped the coil and killed himself. He had ample time to start shifting. He was not silenced, but a rare misplay from Nisha.
Yeah, you rarely see mistakes like this on Nisha.
And he's gone for 40 seconds. He does not have buyback. Nigma, not necessarily the biggest of windows, but it is a window and opportunity to maybe try and get something done. Chronosphere is still up for Matuma Man, so not necessarily a clear opening to take racks, but definitely a tier 3 to be back on the menu, which is
under attack.
Once they pick up bounties, he's going to have enough for buyback, but it's only 15 seconds left, and he has Glyph ready. Double down Sven.
See what he can get done here. Snapfire to the end. They've got Reaper's Scythe. They're going to heal. They do it with the Chronos. They come through. They're focusing the Io. One of us gets the turn. But we are in. Able to stop it. Can they get GH in time? They cannot. GH wins it. They're trying to catch it over towards Matuma Man. Nisha. Wave bombs across. Matu will try and walk away in time.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
It's gone. As Nigma, they'll take the tier 3. They're ready to bail out. They don't want to try and push their luck for anything more. They've lost mind control on the high ground. They'll just do their best to get out of there.
I thought that's not going to end up this well for Team Nigma because it was such a nicely placed Chrono. They already used every single damage, but we controlling Snapfire in the backline.
Time is
one kiss.
Yeah, I think straight in, and the Yule Scepter just throwing Puppy up into the air and putting that whole combo to a finish. And without that, that would have absolutely been a dead ire. So Smart moves from WeHard to just constantly keep a read on the back lines of Secret. And these additional items do Miracle. He has a completed AC. Will look to run down Zai on his own, committing the God Strength and trying to chase for this. The rest of Nigma are heading up to connect him, but Zai back in the river. WeHard, he's dead.
He has no buyback. They can run into Roche Pit right now.
They absolutely can. With no puck, the team fighting Ron Nigma has been heavily reduced. To the pit they go. Nisha ready to sort of redeem himself after a bit of a slip up in the river. He'll go towards Roshan. He should be able to find this Aegis without any interruption from Nigma, and if they do try and take this fight, it's not going to be easy. Secret, they've got full control around the pit. And with no puck, there just isn't the initiation that Nigma requires to make an easy play here. Maybe they can still look to walk in and take it, but already on the side, Michael nuked down by the combo. Nisha able to burst in with the E-Blade. This is now 2 cores down for Nigma. More than enough space for Secret to reap the benefits of Roshan. And ready to look for more. They'll head towards the top lane. Nigma, they're still out on the map. They've got to get out of it. Already trying to scout things out with the Mortimer's Kisses. They will manage to TP away before Matthew's able to get in and look for a lucky bash.
Any stolen spell from timbersaw, extremely effective, pure damage. Yapsor just keeping that chakram for timbersaw, especially when he's on low cooldown. So there's another combo, chakram plus Reaper Sight on top of E-Blade.
Of course, with that being the second Roche as well, Nisha not only having the Aegis, he's going to keep the cheese in his back power. So you've effectively got to go through this Morph 3 times if you want to put a stop to him. And Nisha, sort of for the most part of this game, it has been another top-tier Morphling performance. He played it smart at the start, he hit these item timings, and he has become this threat that Nigma they're starting to panic about.
Talk about the perfect item, Craggy Coat on Necrophos to mitigate that physical damage coming up from Sven.
Only onto Yapsor though. A bit of a weak initiation from Nigma as Zai just draws their attention away.
Please do me, he says.
They get everything quickly. Maybe they can get more. No, we have been past the matches. He found the perfect setup. He brought down to 3 of them. Do they have the damage? They're bolting GH down. The hammer don't come through. GH, he will live for now. Gets himself away. Nisha stays on top of him. The final burst isn't enough. Another tether across. GH will live. Duking them out. Finally, Matthew finishes the kill.
Your chronology
He's going for the TP out.
There's the back.
They have the TP cancelers. Miracle left behind. 3 dead on Nigma. Make that a 4. Secret run over the fight. It's a 3K lead now. And those hopes that Nigma had early to close this game up around that 25-minute mark that they've always looked to do so in this tournament, it's really drifting away. They have to lead. And this game does not get any easier for Nigma considering the draft that Secret's sporting.
Problem is, Puck died, so he can't keep them in place, so Sven can actually deal the damage. Also, he does not have a clear target right now. Nisha, you do not want to focus this guy because he has 2 lives. I think someone popped the teaser or he handed it to Faithful Boy to use it. Did not see it in the previous fight.
And here's the push. Nisha.
Yep.
We can take these buildings pretty quickly. 20 seconds without Miracle. He's not wanting to use that buyback. He's holding on to it. Jump into the silence. Nisha's quick with the shift. It's so hard for them to really get something going now. Now that they're playing from behind. They'll go with the coil. But where is that follow-up? It snaps on Nisha. They'll force him back safely. A cookie.
That's a level 50.
Back out.
Some extra health restored from the cookie. Poppy, you can see him smiling. He's happy the way they're playing right now.
Definitely. Secret, again, sort of all the pressure that Nigma was trying to bring this whole game have now been the ones 30 minutes in to run down mid, take the first melee round of the game. As Nigma, it's going to be so hard for them now to hold on. 10, 2, and 7 on Nisha's Morphling. This man ready to carry this game to victory for Secret. And Nigma, their heroes, they don't offer any obvious answers to a late game Morph.
They understand we need to try go all in. It could be Owen, if they just lose one more fight, they just call it because they understand their late game is really inferior to what Secret has.
He did. He's found GH, can they burst in and finish it off? The Mortimer's Kisses are flying over the weekend, they go. Nisha looks for the easier kill. Kuro's out of the fight. And now they can continue to break down Nigma 1 by 1. PKB, pop by Matuma Man. They'll hold mind control off to the side. Yapsor and Matu Matsu pushing back the Miracle's Sven. GH will go for the TP away, makes it out before anything's there to cancel it.
I love what Matu's doing. He's just chasing Sven, trying to get a bash on him or force him to use either BKB or his ulti, and then they just back off. These two cores on Team Secret, very slippery, very hard to kill if there's no control coming out from Puck's silence.
And that is all the control. The Sven Stormhammer is such sort of a weak initiation tool with the travel time of it. There's so many counterplays the Secret can pull off in time. It's all on WeHeart to make those jumps, and he just hasn't found the opportunity to make those sort of fight-defining jumps at this point of the game.
They were prioritizing farm
Radiant's
on
bottom tower is
timbersaw
under
instead of
attack.
Puck. He was like more doing stuff, moving around the map because Sven was taking a lot of farm, and we can see that in terms of net worth.
Just sort of a clean-up job now for Secret as they take
Nice.
away the final
Very
tier 2
exciting.
towers.
Bottom
The bottom lane is gone. They
has
still have the one up
fallen.
top to go for. They'll head back, and it will be Zai's mission to start shoving this lane all the way around.
Zai, always on mission impossible.
So he's sort of like, he's a lone ranger, likes to play out alone. And this is sort of your standard successful Zai scoreboard. 210, I think probably at one point of the game is probably 1-8 and 1.
You forgot 8.
Early
That's the death number.
Yeah, you know, the higher the depth on Zai, the better he's playing.
Nice.
Absorb is found. Nigma finding an opportunity off the back of this smoke to start to pick apart the supports. Can they catch up the Poppy? Dreamcore has been used, and this is the problem. Matsu's going to try
Zoning
to
Chrono.
play, but GH, he's not messing around. He's going to ensure that Miracle is safe, takes him out immediately, worried about any sort of further follow-up from Secret. Is that just the Chrono gone? It's sort of a bit of a sigh of relief for Nigma now that they can look to make these plays maybe once more. If they have the ability to get further smokes out, as that was successful in at least taking away one of Secret's members. Not a big one, of course, just to support YapzOr. The 3 cores are more than fine. That's where the real problem comes for Nigma.
They're still in this game. Sven, if he finds a good pickup, but the kiting potential, that's what I'm afraid of. You have these 2 cores who are pretty hard to kill. You have a 4-staff, a Necro, also pretty hard to take down with all the items, also Craggy Coat for some extra armor.
Down lane, bottom.
Shortest timber chain in history.
Poppy. As yours control, buying time for the rest of Secret to come across here. We hunt to look to come in the back line. They'll try to see if they can get this kill for the Reaper's time. Won't be enough, but this player has so much damage for Nisha. He's just too big on the Morph. The right click hurts far too much for Nigma to deal with right now. As Secret, they just clean up with ease. Their lineup plays itself so much more nicely than the heroes that Nigma have here. As every single engagement seems to be impossible for Nigma when Secret has mind control. He's got no escape. This game is seeming to be in the books for Secret.
Once you get that Scotty, Sven is pretty much crippled, can't move in a team fight. And they're doing a good job now focusing the Sven. If they have eyes on Io, of course, it's going to focus him, but Sven can easily go down as well.
This high ground is falling. This bottom lane's going. They're upon the fortification system. They see an opportunity to move mid. And to continue the move over the wall. But Nisha has no mercy to spare. As there'll be a buyback from Miracle, but he's without his timbersaw, his chen. Not that it feels like it matters at this point. How far Nigma are behind, all they can do is sit back and watch Secret take out a full second set of barracks. Secret have just been masterful in the way. They knew exactly how Nigma was going to want to play this game. They turned up with a draft that was very clear on the timings they wanted to work towards. They kept their call. They made sure they lost nothing other than a tier 3 inside their own base. They brought the entire game for Nisha to get out as he does. He's so good at reading the positions. Whenever a team is trying to play as Nigma is, going in with these 5-man pushes, Nisha always knows what areas of the map he can go to and make sure that his farm stays consistent with a team that's not only getting kills early, but also getting objectives. Nisha, he never falls far behind.
They're still respecting Team Nigma, but they planted 2 nice observer wards to see any kind of movement coming out from Nigma.
Coming straight back in, Matsu.
They just wanted Chrono to be back online.
For a Chrono to end this game. Kuro. He's out little too far forward. Matsu's going to jump in. He's caught Kuro. He's caught Miracle. Over they go to the Sven. GH is going. He's going to offer. Can he get him out in time? He cannot. Miracle dead for over 2 minutes. That was the chrono to end the game. Secret, they'll run down mid. The tier 4 will fall. Nisha, Gabby, holding them in the base, moving the mangoes. I don't think Nigma's going to be able to push them off, or are there stolen dream call from Yapsaw issues catching out the two of them? Crow's going to be back up in 10. Zai is low. They do have the tele. They actually box down Zai. Okay. Zai and Nisha fight back. Natsu desperately just trying to finish this game. He's round and around. This game is on. I'm hitting the Ancient, but he's actually not going to be able to do it.
Morphling is coming. He needs 5 seconds to be back in the base.
Nisha, can he put an end to this? He can.
You do not expect this kind of mistakes to happen from Team Secret, especially in the grand finals. They're a very disciplined team, but
yeah, a little bit clowning.
Yeah, they were. Nisha won that when he snapped the coil without using the morph, now dying on the